2 years ago, I had hit my all-time bench PR of 205 pounds. I was extremely stoked because I was finally in the 200s and I knew that my next PR would be the 225, which is a specific accomplishment that most people refer to as gym bro status or whatever. However, after an unfortunate series of events, I ended up stopping the gym for over a year. And earlier this year, I started again. But this time, I told myself that I would be more mindful about it. You see, back when I had started the gym, I would just go and lift weights, not think much about it. Maybe I'd think about the weight, okay, today I used 25 pounds, next time I'll try to do a little bit more, but it was a very broad sense. I wasn't very concrete with my workouts and intentional, if you will. Very often, I actually worked out with a friend and he was my gym bro and we just kind of did things together. But that's it. There was no like, why am I going to the gym? Why am I doing this? And I had this idea of progressive overload, but just recently I figured out why I feel like I was going a little bit slower than I should have. And earlier this year, when I started again, I told myself I would do it differently. I would actually track every single bit of progress so that I can see what's holding me back. And by doing that, I realized that's all that was holding me back. It was just writing it down. But what I used to do earlier this year is do it on my phone. I would go on my phone and type it in because it would allow me to see, last time I only did 8 reps. Today, I'm going to do 9. Even if that means like, if I can't do the 9th, I'll like take a rest and then push and really try to do more every single time. But after 3 months of consistent gym going, I was able to hit 225, which is something I'm really happy about. However, after I did that, I realized I should change. When I say change, I meant to say change the way I track my workouts. Because tracking it on the phone is great, but I had seen old people most of the time not running around, but using logbooks. And I told myself, you know what? That is kind of old-fashioned. It kind of like feels weird, but what if I actually try it? Because in school, throughout college or middle school, high school, whatever, you usually write things down in class because it helps you remember. It engages your brain. And I thought this might be a much better way of approaching progressive overload and the gym in general, because first of all, it's a unit, right? A lot of times when we're going to the gym, we want to look better. So we have progress pictures. But sometimes we kind of forget about the strength aspect. So by having a book, you're actually able to see, like this is your progress. You can see, okay, on September 16th, I was only able to curl 8 reps. You get what I'm saying? And then now I'm able to do 7 reps, but with a higher weight. So it's really this concrete thing that you can always look back on. Dude, in 20 years, I can come back to this journal and see it and be like, wow, that's crazy how much progress I've made. And I just like it a lot. The second strong benefit I want to talk about logbooks is about this distraction aspect, this mental engagement. I mentioned it a little bit a couple minutes ago, but it's really about being more engaged. When we're at the gym, likely, this is what I used to do, I would just scroll on my phone in between sets, put some hard music. What's that style called, the genre? Is it maybe funk or hard style? Something, that would pump me and everything. And although I do listen music from time to time at the gym, I do find that in between sets, instead of scrolling mindlessly on my phone, like a little zombie, I write, because obviously you have to write to keep things down, to keep tracking. So I write incline, hammer, curls, and it's a more engaging activity that you can do in between sets that engages your brain. And it's much better than scrolling on your phone, let's be honest. And to add on top of that, I also like to use this as sort of I wouldn't say a journal. I'm not actually writing my thoughts or anything like that. But what I am doing is writing the time that I enter and exit the gym. So not just the time I start my workout, because a lot of times when we think about time management and efficiency, we think about, okay, so how long did this workout take me? But truly, 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 it didn't just take you that 1 hour you spent at the gym. It also took you the drive there and the preparation, dressing up and the shower. And I don't actually account all of that in, but what I do account for is I just count the time that I enter and exit the gym. So if the gym is full and I have to wait a lot of time for the weights, it's fine. I don't change that, because that allows me to see over time, are my workouts too long, too short? Is my rest time too long, too short? And it really helps me be more mindful and efficient with my time. Also, from time to time, when I see a friend or an old friend from high school, or if something funny happens, I write a little note in my journal. It's like, oh, today this happened, like 5-10 words, just so that if I ever look back on this, I'll remember that specific workout day with a fun moment. And it's just a little additional thing to top everything off. And after trying this for over a month now, I can tell you without the shadow of a doubt that the old-fashioned way is the best. I've been loving it, and I'm sure you will too. So let me know if you try this out in your next workout, and tell me if your progress gets any better. Thanks for watching, dude. I'll see you in the next one.